I'm Chuck Todd. Up next on Hotline TV, McCain decided to skip Saturday's Senate vote on Iraq to campaign in Iowa. Explaining his decision, McCain called the vote meaningless.
And I'm John Mercurio. That, plus other senators who rearranged their schedules to cast said meaningless vote.
That's next on Hotline TV.
We see parents who dream big, of honor students and artists. By supporting programs that help children learn, we help parents watch their dreams come true.
From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now here are Hotline editors Chuck Todd and John Mercurio.
Happy Hump Day, everybody. I'm Chuck Todd.
And I'm John Mercurio. John McCain skipped Saturday's procedural vote, preferring instead to sneak onto a float and sing Twist and Shout at a local parade.
Actually, McCain skipped the vote to campaign in Iowa, but that's a nice spot, John. Is this a good choice for him?
You know, I think it ended up being a very good choice for him. I think the fact that he had a really good weekend, I think the press coverage coming out of Iowa for him was probably the best he's had this year.
John McCain smiled.
He
that
actually
seemed to be
smiled,
the breaking news.
he made great jokes, and crowds erupted into laughter at John McCain's jokes. That ended up being a good thing for him. I think it could have backfired if he hadn't done so well over the weekend in Iowa, because look, he's already being criticized as being a flip-flopper for being so far out there on the vote, so far out there on the war, on the surge, and then skipping out on a vote. It might be meaningless.
Going to be a meaningless vote. I mean,
it might be meaningless, it might not be, but the fact that you won't actually be there for the vote, that you won't actually allow the vote to take place,
it was smart
is a very different thing.
He already has the problem of being a senator, right? And so therefore part of the problem in the Senate and this whole non-binding and what's binding and this or that, all I know is bran flakes are binding to me.
Nice.
I mean, so I don't, this whole non-binding thing.
Speaking of which, we've got to wrap this up real quick.
This is what makes Americans nuts over Congress. They think these guys are having this debate to have a debate about something that has no meaning.
But let's get back to McCain. But
wanting to be commander-in-chief,
is that the Republicans' problems or the Democrats' problems?
It doesn't matter. It's the way Congress works, and that's why a commander-in-chief rarely comes from the United States Senate. That's why McCain had to do that. That was the smart move. It was the right move. Even if he had a bad weekend of press, it was still the right move. But he had a great weekend of press. John McCain's back. The funny guy's back. Well, the guy who all the press fell in love with 4 years ago seemed to be back, still biting. Not as grumpy as he had been. I noticed what was interesting on all those pieces, and we'd been talking about this sort of grumpy McCain that had been somber, sober, this whole thing, and all of these pieces noted, wow, he actually smiled.
Well, and that's, I think, the issue that McCain
talk about
has
lowering
to
your
deal
expectations.
With. On the campaign trail, the thing that McCain has to focus on and deal with, I think, almost more, or definitely more than any other candidate, is his level of vigorousness, how active he seems on the trail. He'll be 72 years old when inaugurated. Every Republican primary voter is going to know that before the election. And his pace, his energy level, how excited he gets, and how much he can motivate the crowd is going to be a factor for him more so than any other candidate.
And it was all there. Sort of the repartee was back, and it was the comfort level. He seemed to be he seemed to get his groove. You saw the way the reports were chronicled over the weekend. He got better and better, stronger and stronger, which somebody at 70 years old shouldn't necessarily be getting stronger and stronger. So
I'm not getting stronger and stronger.
No, you're a very weak man.
I'm a small and weak man. And while he's having a good weekend, Mitt Romney having a bad weekend. Look, there were so many clips over the weekend. The issue of Mitt Romney being a flip-flopper has congealed in the media. If you look at not just the Boston Globe and the Boston Herald, but all over the press.
You think it's congealed in the media, or do you think they had a little help from what is turning out to be a very crack John McCain organization? I mean, these things don't happen by accident.
Well, I think both.
Mitt Romney,
because of a lot of the opposition
Mitt Romney opened
research.
himself up to this. I mean, half of this research isn't potent if Romney doesn't flip in the first place. But I think we're seeing what has been these machine campaigns, right? Everybody thought, oh, geez, Hillary, maybe she'll crack, maybe she won't be what she is. And then when it got rolling, you thought, oh, wow, okay, this is a formidable operation. That's what you're seeing on the McCain side, is that once they start rolling, they did put together a pretty impressive apparatus. Once they started rolling this past weekend, all of a sudden they had big events, big crowds, and he was on it. And all they needed was a candidate on his game, and he was.
And they had Phil Gramm.
Hey, I failed the first, the third, and the seventh grade, and I want to be president. Sorry, it's my favorite Phil Gramm moment. All right, that's going to do it for today. Tune in tomorrow when Harry Reid realizes he's been Ferris Bueller. I'm Chuck Todd.
And I'm John Mercurio. We'll see you tomorrow.
Twist and shout, come on, baby.